It'd probably help if I turn my mic up. Um, how in the world is everybody doing tonight on this Saturday night? June the 25th of 26. How's your day been so far today? Ain't been too bad on my behalf. Had a little thing happen today. It's one of them days, things that happen that you kind of scratch your head. How in the world did that happen? And all that. Hello. I had a little bit of a fender bender today up there in Danville. It wasn't, my car wasn't damaged or anything, and nobody was hurt, but it happened, and the other car damaged it just a little bit, but well, we exchange insurances and all this stuff like that, and the police is there and done report and all this stuff. I was pulling into the Kroger lot and taking my time just easing through there. Went to pulling in this one little parking spot, and for somehow or another, my foot, I had my foot on the brake, just pulling in there, and for some reason or another, my foot mashed on the gas at the same time. I could not control it. It was just like my leg or would not, you know, respond. I seen it. I seen it was happening, but it wasn't a thing I could do. Dude, the only thing it done to that truck was just a little bit of a bumper. It bent it in just a little bit where the little plastic thing goes across it, and it broke that part. But other than that, it didn't hurt nothing else. It didn't even damage my car at all because I wasn't going that fast when it done it. Just barely easing in there. But it was like, I sit there and go, how did that happen? How did that happen? And I had everything under control, or so I thought, but evidently I didn't. That was the dangest thing that ever happened, and like I said, it seemed like my foot I had no control over it. It was like I thought I was mashing on the brake, but then I hit the gas at the same time, if that makes sense. Where I was pushing them both at the same time. I think that's how it was. But anyway, I turned it into my insurance, and that's what I pay insurance for. But it's probably going to make my rate go up. But well, whatever. Nobody was hurt, and everything was cool. And I felt like a complete idiot. Just put it that way. I did. The only thing was hurt was, I guess, my integrity or my self-esteem or my feelings. They were hurt. That's how it's one of them things. You sit there and you shake your head. That's the first little accident that I've had in years. You know, I mean, it's been years, at least 30 years, or probably a little more than that. So, oh well, things like that happen. It just, the more I think about it, I was going, when I was pulling into that little lot, little parking space there, I was taking my time, and it just seemed like everything was in slow motion. I seen what was fixing to happen, but it seemed like there wasn't a thing I could do about it. But anyway, I'm just surprised it didn't break my plastic on my front of my car. But it didn't scratch it a bit. It didn't scratch it a bit. And, it is what it is. But how's everybody doing other than that? I mean, other than that, everything's been great. I'm alive and, good Lord let me live, get up in this morning and everything and stuff like that. We had just been to a birthday party and I probably had a little bit. I had a slice of cake and we had a few other things they had there to eat. And I probably aggravated my sugar a little bit, which I'm not making excuses, but I'm trying to make sense of it. That it caused my neuropathy to flare up in my feet and my leg. You just don't have no control. But, well, it's one of them things like you just gotta laugh and go on with it. My wife, she was a little bit upset about it. I said, ain't nothing, there's no need of being upset. It's just one of them things that happens. And we'd pulled in there. She went in there, and her and my granddaughter went on in the store. I said, go on in there and take care of everything. Everything will be taken care of. And it was, you know. I, I know I hate to reiterate it, but I just feel ashamed a little bit because what happened. It's just like how in the world did that happen? But anyway, yeah, nobody's hurt there, Janet. One of them things. Yeah, Barry, it has been a day. I guess it depends on how a person looks at it. Something like that or whatever is happened to you. It's how you look at it. I mean, a whole lot of times the good Lord does things like that to chasing you to get you to straighten up, which I don't know that I've done anything wrong, but it could be a possibility. He's trying to say, hey, you need to, whatever, and do something a little different, which um, we don't know. What is it called? Murphy's Law, when anything that can happen will. I once thought that was a thing, but really it's not. It seems that way, but really it's not. Uh, but I know one thing: I'm a little bit skittish nowadays. I'm going to be a little bit. I don't know. I'm just going to be a little bit paranoid. Maybe is the word I'm wanting to use. But I don't know. It might a little bit too hot to wear a hat right now. I'm hanging on this. Uh, oh boy. Sitting outside in the yard and finishing up a craft I was working on and all that. And we kind of sat around the fire pit, and granddaughter and wife and everybody's up out here. Just kind of laying back, and it's a nice cool day here in Kentucky. I mean, it ain't too bad at all out there right now. You know, considering what we went through last week, heat and everything. But they're talking like we're going to be in for some more storms or for several weeks of basically the same variety that we went through the other day with the F1 tornado that we had through here. That there's a wake up call too. Yeah. I tell you, that if that tornado had went 1,000 yards to the right or 500 yards to the right, it would have split right down this valley on one end of it. It would have followed it out. And from what I got to looking at it, there was a couple of days ago, I was looking where it come through that and how it come through, and you could see exactly where it come over that knob, and you can see trees up in there twisted off and everything. And you look at the distance between where it come down at and in the main part of the valley to the right of it, I mean, to the left of it, very slim. We dodged a big bullet. And as y'all seen with Barry's footage and a little bit of footage I put out there, you can see what kind of damage it done. It could have been a lot worse. A lot worse. And I don't believe that we're going to be out of the woods. Unfortunately, I think we're going to eventually entertain one. Yeah, if it went, yeah, it very well could have went left. If it had went 500 yards to the left there, Barry, it would have been in the valley. It'd been basically right over top of your house. It would have come down right in there. Because that's just, that's just right over the ridge, right behind your house is where it come over. If you look at where it traveled. And that's not very much of a distance at all for a tornado. I mean, and as crazy as this weather is, it's very unpredictable, and you never know what they're going to do. They're giving bad storms. You better be paying attention. You better be paying attention. These storms are packing a wallop. Every one of them. Even a small, insignificant thunderstorm could pack a wallop. But anyway, yeah, we've had an exciting week, to be sure. I'm gonna go ahead and put the link in the chat because I don't feel like going to Messenger, Barry. I don't feel like dealing with it, but there it is. You know what? That's what, even with our weather radios and stuff, mine went off several times. But I mean, the funny part about all of that, when they said there was a tornado, well, they said there were a tornado 3 miles west of Houstonville. Then that tornado had already touched down and done what damage it was going to do. Oh, Barry says he can't. Oh. Something wrong with the internet? Oh, you got things undone, Barry? Is that what it is? I've been out of the loop for most of the day, so. I can't, no, read it again. I can't. Oh, cats on the keyboard. Well, whew. When they said there was a tornado 3 miles west of Houstonville, that was from the, I guess, National Weather Service. That tornado had already touched down and done the damage, and it was done gone. We were sitting on the porch, and like an idiot, I don't know why we were sitting on the porch. Well, standing on the porch watching. Man, it was coming down bad, and you could sit there and watch that wind, that rain. It'd go one direction, and all of a sudden it'd go the other direction. I said, "Oh, that's something right there. That shows there's some circulation, rotation going on when you see that." Sure enough, it wasn't 2 minutes till they said that, and I don't think our siren. I'll get that in a minute. I don't think it went off until after the fact. But it's just the way it is. It was crazy that day. We had 6 tornadoes in the state that touched down.
The tornado was already on the ground. They put sirens out too late.
They're a little bit slow on the ball, but I don't even pay attention to that siren up on the knob. They just like, what's the point even having it if they're going to be that late with it?
Must have been asking everybody, "Do I press the button? What's the code?"
You think so? You'd think that. I mean,
now, do I press it now?
Now?
It's like, no. Hold on a minute. Okay, now. Yes, now.
Now.
By then it's screamed about 10 houses.
It's kind of what it seemed like anyway, but even the weather radios were not accurate. The tones didn't go off. I mean, we never did get a tone. Well, no, I'll take that back. They probably did. But you remember, we were out without power.
Yeah.
As soon as that tornado touched down, we were out of power. So my weather radio could have been sounding, and of course, I don't have no batteries in it, which I'm an idiot, and I should put batteries in it. But you kind of learn you learn a few things, Put batteries in your weather radio. Make sure you got your cell phones charged up ahead of time, and stuff like that. When you hear bad weather approaching or whatever, have everything ready. And there was a couple things I didn't have ready, and that's on me. But that's the way it goes. You learn. I'm just surprised nobody was hurt in the state. I don't think it was. I don't think it was. It was mostly damage and everything. It could have been. But if we just bury you, 500 yards to the left, if it just kind of turned that much to the left, it would have dropped right over top of your house.
Yeah.
Because that ridge goes straight across and out, and on the other side of it is where it comes down at. See, that ridge does it comes out behind your house to a point, but on that back here is another ridge, it cuts off to the right of it and goes around. That's where it went over at, right there. What they call used to well, they still call it the low gap. It's like a gap in the part of Turkey Foot gap, but it's. I got to looking at that day. I said, "Oh my God, that's how close it." I mean, it come pretty close of dropping right over in this valley. It only takes just a little bit, but I do believe it was two of them, Barry. I really do. I really believe there was two of them. From the looks of the damage, you could see where it was just going right through the edge of them woods. One of them. It could have been the same one.
Well, it could have been the same one, but they could have more than one
tail.
Yeah, more than one tail and be on the same head. So
yeah. That's kind of what it looked like.
They could go off in any direction they want to, because they're being fueled by the
April
big body that tornado.
I don't know if anybody out there can remember April 3rd of 1974, but I can remember it. I was probably about 13-year-old, 14, and that tornado outbreak around through here, boy, it was bad around through here. There was a lot of people got killed and a lot of damage around through here. And we was at my grandpa's out over there on Black Pike. Barry knows where it's at, but he had a big underground basement underneath the house, farmhouse,
Mm-hmm.
And all earlier that day, Dad had been keeping up with it, what was going on, and they were talking it bad. And we lived around here, and we got in the vehicle and went on over there. And I remember they went and cut some cedar posts and took it down there and reinforced the ceiling of that cellar. It was underneath the house, and you had to enter it from the outside. But they had to go in there and reinforce, and it's a good thing they did, because we were all in there. And dude, let me tell you, the house was popping and cracking, and before it did that, you look right over, and you could see the tornado actually coming towards us. It was a great big sucker, and it come right over the knot. There was a hill right in front, right next to the place, and you could see it hit a barn and just disintegrated it. They watched it in real time happen. It wasn't no wind blowing out right there where we were at. It was just like real stillness. But you could look. It was like looking at a movie of a tornado taking a barn out.
Yeah,
because there's nothing else around you. No wind blowing at all.
But you were in a vacuum of it.
And they said, somebody said, "Look at them buzzards up there." Well, behind there, and they said, "No, that ain't no buzzard. That's part of that barn." Up in the air, it descended and it come straight toward us, and most everybody was already in the cellar at that time, but everybody, there was a couple, 2 or 3 outside the door watching it, and I remember sticking my head out and looking because I wanted to see what was going on too, but I think Dad just about threw me downstairs. He grabbed me by the britches and threw me downstairs. Son, and it hit. Dude, I thought that place was gone. And you could see dust blowing through the concrete walls. And it scooted the entire house 6 inch. What was it? 6 inches off the foundation. I mean, it was still on the foundation, but it had scooted it like the board. This is the top of the brick, and this is the house. It scooted it that much off of it, or back. It scooted it back that much.
Wow.
Son, we thought it was gone, and it just like a big roaring. It was roaring and everything, and then all of a sudden it just shut off. And we kind of ventured outside and looked. And back towards Moreland, you could see, that's all you could see was tornadoes. It was like 4 or 5 towards Moreland, just hanging down there. And that big sucker was heading straight towards Moreland too. And that's the one that got that train and took it off the track. Picked that train up and set it off the track like it was a toy. It blowed straw into fence posts that you couldn't hardly get one of them pieces of straw out of that fence post. That's how hard it drew it back in there. I do remember that part, but it was and we were afraid they were still giving more storms that day, the afternoon, and we were afraid to stay in there any longer, and because we didn't know how much damage it was going to do. So we went to my aunt's place, and they had a pretty good cellar, but it was a messed up time, son, because tornadoes are very unpredictable. We just dodged a bullet the other day. That's just all there's to about it. Yeah. Yeah. Now these tornadoes here, boy, I tell you, we don't have as many of them as they do out in the west part, around Kansas and everything, but we have our share of them. And when they come, they come. When they're given a really good chance of tornadic activity, you better be getting your act together. And the worst thing you can do is rely on these cell phones for alerts. Because, it's case proven it.
You didn't get one until after it already happened.
Yeah. Well, after when we were sitting on this porch and we was watching it, and that rain was doing it'd blow one way and all of a sudden it'd whip around like a circle.
Yeah.
You can sit there and watch it. And I know right then it was rotation. And just about that time, April's phone gave out that alert. But I wasn't no way of knowing it. Our electric was out here. It went out when we were sitting on the porch.
My ears popped.
Yeah.
I could feel the pressure change. It dropped fast. There was eerie silence for a second there. And then it just, next thing I know, I hear you guys saying there's rotation, and I couldn't even get the words out. I'll bet you. About that time, I could hear, the sirens going off.
Yeah.
It was already towards Black Pike before I could even get out on the porch.
Yeah.
And I was feeling that pressure change inside the house, dude.
Well, I learned a valuable lesson which I should have already known it, but I'll take that hit. They put batteries in my weather radio. I don't know why I did not do that. I had no idea. It's one of them brain farts, I guess. Up to this point, never gave it thought, you know. But you learn. Things like this makes you a better person, you know. It's just more prepared. You know what to expect next time. You know what to prepare for, what work, what don't. You know, yeah. You know, they giving us some more stuff coming in. What they talking about? We'll probably have several weeks of it. They said it could go plumb in the middle of August with these storms. You know, that's the way it is. Now, hurricanes is a different matter. You got a little bit of a lead time in between the time you hear it developing and everything. It gives you time to prepare. You know, get everything boarded up and whatever. But these dead Jim tornadoes, really, they wasn't really given a really big chance. Well, they said it was a possibility earlier that day or the night before when they were doing the forecast. They said it was a possibility. And then that day they were saying, you know, still saying it was a possibility. A real good one. Not no high, not no 50% or anything like that, but you know. I think the weathermen were scratching their heads on that one.
Yeah.
To be quite honest with you, the way they was acting, they was, you know, completely bungled. It done it that way. But it come right out of the northwest, and usually when we get something out of the northwest, it's usually humdinger. Just about every time. I don't know, it's something about that direction. It just it's packing a wallet. Yeah, I was watching it pretty much all morning on the radar, but yeah, well, I'm just thankful none of our houses or anything was damaged or anything in it, and that's one good thing to look at it. And we learned from our mistakes. Well, mine. I'm not going to repeat that again. I'm gonna make sure my little battery bank is charged up. Working if I had to, I can at least use it to charge myself. You know, I'll make sure that's charged up now, and you know, little things like that. Little things. Where's everybody else at tonight, Travis? I know Janet's in there, and we got 3 eyeballs. So I know 2 of them is probably accounted. 2 of them's accounted for, I think. I'm not sure.
I guess they're all too good to make an appearance. I'll say it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'll say it.
Too big to make an appearance. I will too.
When are they saying rain again?
Eugene said tomorrow, but it was raining today.
Well, yeah, but I'm just looking forward to it, unfortunately, because it keeps somebody from doing things.
Well, yeah, I say if he's waiting on that to clear up, I'm saying he's going to be waiting for a while.
He's going to be waiting until next year.
Yeah, because they're giving some pretty good chances for the next few weeks. And
hey, watch it. You're lucky that it has nothing in it.
If he's waiting on it to dry up, then well, good luck to him on that. You know, wish him all the luck. Not somebody else know better than that. You know, there's no sense talking about it because it's just, the more you talk about it, makes your head hurt. You know, just thinking of stupidity in action.
It's hard for me not to think about it.
Yeah, I know that, but it's the stupidity of it all is what it's so aggravating about. You know, for the most part, it just makes no sense. But you know,
Can't you like? Hasn't got anything better to do than to think up some ways to do things?
No, they don't. No, they don't have. You know, they're not living in peace themselves. So why should anybody else? You know, that's when you just let your shoes blow and just.
You ever heard that song? Dumb Ways to Die.
Mm-hmm.
I think the tractor is one of them. Dumb Way to Die.
Oh yeah,
way to die.
That little project you was talking about would be hard enough with somebody that was able to get around pretty good, but when you get already stowed up in the hips and can't hardly operate the clutch, much less anything else, you're just asking for it, and you know, that's like I said. I'll bet money on it that he'll never move it 2 inches, even when it's sitting there. I guarantee it because that tractor's not going to do it.
Nope.
That tractor, it ain't big enough. Now, if it was a tractor about the size of what Bobby Max got around there, a big Ford, yeah, there's a good possibility he could snake it up there. It still would be a little bit hard, but it's big enough, got the horsepower. That tractor ain't probably about a 32 horse, maybe 40. And no, it ain't. It ain't gonna do it. He'll tear the rear end out from under it. He'll tear the rear end out from under it. Ain't no way. Building's, he's not gonna do it. I try to get somebody to bet with me. Nobody take me up on it.
I would, but I have a feeling I'm going to need every dollar I could save.
Well, I wouldn't take it from. I wouldn't take it from you. I would just,
Oh, I know, but I'm just saying.
I would at least win a bet. All you do is look at the tractor, look at the building, and look at where he's wanting to put it at, and and the route he wants to take, which is either way he takes it, it's still going to be the same problem, uphill. And if somebody was driving that tractor that probably know what they were doing, maybe, but that would be only if that tractor was big enough to pull that building up there, and it's not. He thinks it is. He thinks that tractor can pull that big pear tree out of the ground.
Yeah.
But be fair.
I like to see him get that finishing mower off of there.
Yeah.
Guarantee someone else put that on it.
Well, yeah, he did it. He's going to have to. He can set it down. He can get it up, but he's not able to move around. How's he going to? She'll have to take it loose for him. Who's going to crawl up underneath there and put them chains underneath there? There you go.
It's got a wood It's got wood floor joists in it, and all that's going to do is just dig into the dirt and get stuck.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought of this scenario. It could dig in so deep in the dirt that it just flips over on top of him.
Well,
I'm not trying to be morbid or anything, you know.
Yeah, if that tractor was, if it had the lift capacity, you could lift the front end off the ground just a little bit, where you could put a skid underneath of it, underneath the front, and yeah, you could move it that way if it was a bigger tractor. But no, it's not gonna work. Yeah, the idiot should have put it there when he unloaded it. We discussed that today. That's where your stupidity comes in at. Why didn't he just have him to back it right up there, a flatbed, and set it there to start with? Well, we discussed that when he set it there the first time.
Yeah. It's in a dip.
Now he's wanting to move it up there.
Back end of it's in a dip right now.
Yeah, that one corner.
Better off just leave it there and block it up.
He'd be a lot better. Well, he'll probably do that anyway because he's going to find out he can't move it. And you know what I do. He ain't going to pay nobody to move it. Nobody, if anybody come up there and moved it, they would, they weren't going to be responsible for the building. Back in the day, I know a couple of them would have tied onto it and pulled it up there, but they would have told him ahead of time that something happened to that building. It's on you. They'll jerk it plumb down. There'll be nothing left but the frames. The frame will be on the ground. I've seen them move before, but not uphill. Not with a tractor. Now, if he had
not with a square wood frame basically on ground. It's just not going anywhere. It's going to dig itself into the ground. And
even if he had a small dozer tied. Yeah, it could fold up. Yeah, it could fold up. If he had a small dozer tied to it, it'd be no problem. But it's still going to dig in the ground. But at the same time, yeah, it could. It may not even last a trip up there. Like you said,
and the direction he's thinking of going, it's going to go right over those lines and screw them all up.
Well, that's a be on him.
I already told him. Well, I wasn't exaggerating when I said he almost took the trailer out.
Yeah.
One more inch, he took it. That's why his son and his wife and everybody else said, no, you don't need to be on a tractor. He's not aware of a 360 degrees.
Yeah, he's straight. He just looks ahead. He don't look behind him.
Focused in front, and that's it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
He was that way with the John Deeres. He was the same way, not straight ahead. You'd be lucky if you turn around and look behind him.
Yeah. I don't know.
I've never seen someone so hard-headed in my life.
Well,
I was.
It's hard-headedness and plus it's stupidity.
Pride. Well, lets his pride take over.
Mm-hmm. But, yeah.
I know because I've done it myself. At some point in our lives, we've let our pride get in the way.
Yeah, until it costs you the arm or leg, then.
Because we're human. That might cost. I better not say that. I have to laugh because it's just so hard to believe that anyone would think that that's a good idea.
Yeah. He'll figure it out. If you don't, he'll learn from it. Maybe if you don't learn from it, then oh well. Yeah.
I'd block it up, and then I'd have somebody paint over it.
Yeah.
Somebody, not me.
Oh yeah. You better be. I'd make myself. Well, you said you want to film it. I started to say I'd make myself scarce that day somewhere.
Oh, you know, cameras, well placed cameras tend to capture some interesting things.
Oh yeah. No, getting back on the tornado situation, yeah, I think, this ridge around through here does help a whole lot with deflecting. I guess if that's the thing. Some say that ridges don't do that, but they do too. But at some point, one's going to get down in here. It's just a matter of time, dude. The law of averages is in it. And,
Hazard, Kentucky is really a really good example of how storms can be blocked and stopped. They stall out when they get to the mountain range.
Mm-hmm.
It will sit there and it will dump every last bit of precipitation they have until they move on.
Mm-hmm.
And we had it was our second winter there. We had 2 foot of snow on the ground by morning.
Yeah.
Needless to say, nobody went anywhere. But we had everything because we saw the forecast. But that's what it did. And they said this happens every winter. We get a bad storm here. They said it will hit these mountain ranges and it will stop. This came from a weatherman. It will stop. Mm-hmm. It will dump everything it's got. When it lightens up, it'll move on.
Mm-hmm. So
you just better stay in and stay warm. Well, so water coming up in the air and watch it turn to snow.
Yeah, the law of averages is only going to dictates that eventually we're going to get one down through here. Yeah, we can't dodge that bullet forever. All it has to do is drop over this ridge here, just like it did the other one did the other day. And there you go. It has to be big enough to, do that. And I don't want to see that happen. Because it's going to tear some jack up.
No, it's like the analogy that I said the other day. It's going to be like a needle in a record.
Oh yeah, follow that groove right down to it. Yeah,
stay in the grooves until the very end.
Mm-hmm. And tornadoes follow water too.
Yep,
they follow water, so we got a pretty good creek that runs down through here, so it could, strange things could happen. But for the most part, I don't know, for the life of me, I don't know why we haven't already had one. As many near misses that we've had. I mean, near misses. That it's bound to happen at some point. It'd either be like a half a mile to the right of us, or a half a mile to the left, or in that case of the one of the day, probably 500 yards to the right, maybe 1,000. I have to look on Google Earth and see about where 1,000
See
yards.
the Maxi Valley end of it. That would just be just utter destruction because everybody's sandwiched together over there.
Well,
Whereas
it opens up.
The further you get towards me, the more it opens up. Like where you're at, it opens up. So it's less dense. You're still going to get damage. What I'm saying is everything over on that end of 906 is so crunched together.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
It would just be nothing for that tornado. Just take it all in one swap and then come down our road and just.
It's pretty heavily populated. That's for sure.
Yeah.
Very heavily populated.
And I understand it. It's families that have elderly and whatnot living in, buildings.
It's been built up over the years and everything, and it didn't used to be that packed. But
Well, I'm glad to see that they, even though they had to put those extra buildings on their property, they did it in such a way that it's pleasing to the eye.
Yeah.
It's not like certain person we know that just plopped a building down and it's got purpose to it, and it doesn't look like just put it wherever.
Yeah.
Especially that clump of houses on the left, that dip, the real steep dip going towards Maxi Valley Road. That house on the left, that whole cluster of houses there, they thought it out when they put them little buildings down. They didn't just go, that looks good. I'm just rambling.
Weather is excuse me. The weather here lately has been very unpredictable. It's the weathermen do their very best, but even though they're still held back from putting out the entire forecast, but even then, they're still baffled after the fact.
Our current models don't include a super El Nino.
No.
That's the problem. And if you get them to admit that and to work on a solution, even if it's a temporary fix for the software, we would be ahead of the game. But nobody ever considered that. What happens if we get the next one up and it's a super El Nino? Oh, geez, our software doesn't. It's not made to account for that. But what do we do? Oh, we got to wing it now. Just guess.
This very well could affect our winter too.
Yep.
It will. And we might need to prepare. Everybody that lives around in here or anywhere for that matter better be preparing for the winter now, ahead of time. Yeah, I know it's probably warm and nice and everything now, but I'm telling you, this winter's going to be a humdinger. If The Super El Nino is not. They're talking about a bad winter already. I don't know. All you can do is the best you can, but it pays to be mindful of your surroundings. Pay attention to the weather forecasts. Even watch the weatherman on your TV, your local weather. Watch it and listen to what he's saying, but at the same time, do your own vigilance and pay attention to things. And even that, with all that, it's still a crapshoot. You know, nobody wants to see destruction and everything like that, but you know, I'm sorry, it's just unfortunately that's the result. Yep. Oh boy, I'm starting to yawn, man. I took last night. I took a dead Jim sleeping one of them sleep aid pills. Golly, I actually took it a little bit too late. I waited about 12:30, 1 o'clock before I took it, and I wished I hadn't done that, dude. It kicked my butt just about all day. It probably would have been. I took it so I could get up early this morning and everything, and go to that birthday thing, and golly. And I ain't doing that again. I just figure some other way of falling asleep or take it earlier than what I did would probably be one thing, but it still may linger the next day. I don't like feeling like that, you know, drowsy or whatever. It's not too bad, but it's still there, you know.
Yeah, they had me on amitriptyline years ago, and it would never. I would never feel like I woke up enough. Always felt just groggy and out of it.
I was taking it for a while, and I quit taking it. I said, I can't hack it.
Too. I told him, I said, no, no more. He says, why? I said, I cannot. I drink a whole pot of coffee, still feel like I could just crawl in the bed and go back to sleep. And I go all day long, don't know what I'm doing. I said, I do not like this medicine. Oh, well, let's try something else. I said, how about we just wait a little bit? let's just hold off on that for a little while.
I took it for just a little bit, and no. Didn't like how it was filling me.
Little bluish gray pill, but don't much bigger than a saccharin tablet. Boy, it kicks your butt though.
Yeah, they will. Next day you feel like you're just there. That's it.
Walking dead. That's what you felt like.
No. We'll figure something else out. I ain't taking that crap. I'd rather be plagued with a sleep disorder than to have that. Yeah. Oh boy. I think it's the bright light is causing me to get sleepy. Maybe that's what it is. Maybe that's what it is. What if I just don't look at it? Which I have to look at because it's right there in the corner of my eye. What if I just do this and not worry about it? Just We'll just do that and I'll worry about it.
There you go. Yeah.
Yeah, I've done something smart for a change.
Oh, shoot. You said it, not me.
Yeah, I finally did do something smart today. I'm sorry. Most people like to like LS. I don't. I mean, I do. I've done it for a little bit, as you see, but I can't hack it. That light's getting in my eyes and everything, and making me sleepy, and just the way it's going to have to be.
Hello, cat.
But ain't like we got thousands of people in here tonight anyway, so don't matter at all. And if we did, I'd still do it. Yeah.
I look pretty much like my avatar, just extra wrinkles and a few more gray hairs.
Yeah, I would make me a different avatar, but I ain't figured out the image I'm gonna put out there yet. Big fist or something. Or foot.
Hello, Kit Kat.
Yeah. Yeah, it does kind of seem like a good. Well, actually, they did say it was supposed to be September-like weather feel for the rest of this week. Maybe some next week too, like that, which ain't too bad out there. I mean, it's good sitting out weather with around a campfire or something, which is what we was doing earlier, but we got bored with that, and I know we're getting closer to time to do a live. I said, oh, well, I guess I'll have to go in there and do a live. Anyway.
Oh, it was officially lifted on the 20th, wasn't it?
What now?
The bird ban, it was lifted.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, it was lifted. Yeah.
Oh, I knew my brother told me about it.
Well,
I told somebody it was still on.
Hey. Oh, yeah.
I told somebody it was still on. I said, you don't want to burn nothing right now.
You can't burn nothing. Yeah, let them think that. Maybe it'll save the woods a little bit longer. But, yeah, I didn't put it out there or anything. I think I even forgot about it. Mention it. I forgot about mentioning it to you. Yeah.
Well, I should have known something because what's his name over here across the road from me? He had a big bonfire. So.
Yeah, I don't know why I didn't mention it. I just figured you'd already discussed it on the radio or something. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah. Where everybody's at tonight, usually there's one or two stragglers come in here. I'd like to see a troll or two, is what I like to see. I can't even get a troll to come in here. That's bad. You can't even get a troll. Golly.
They're going to all the young lady channels and telling them they're hot and hoping that they'll fall in love with them because it's.
Oh, is that what it is?
I called you hot. You should be falling all over me.
Oh, maybe that's what's wrong. Maybe this channel ain't hot enough for him. Oh, well. Well, I appreciate what we have, and that's about as good as we can. I ain't worried about nothing else. What is the temperature here? Janet Potter says. I don't really know. I don't have the. What's your say, Barry?
I think mine says it's in the 70s, so it's probably about, let's see, 71.
Huh.
Yeah, 70. It's 70 degrees. Feels like 70. Humidity 88%.
A suicidal juvenile.
Oh my! Probably the same one that. You know they're not going to do it. They just want attention.
Yeah. Hold on.
Anyone that's going to do it won't say anything about it.
Mm-hmm. That's true. Yep. Yep.
I needed extra credits in high school in my sophomore year, so I took psychology.
Come in handy.
That was one of the things that they talked about. He said, this is something he said that happens in high school mainly. He said, we're going to cover it this week. It was like a suicide prevention week or something like that.
Yeah.
So we were discussing. That was actually one of the classes I did enjoy. Science was my other class that I always did well in, and geography.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was. And later that year, we had somebody off himself. He tried so hard to fit in, but he would try to fit in with the wrong crowd. And then he, they found him in a garage.
Yeah.
Hung himself. He was a good person. He really was. He just wanted to be in that clique that nobody really should be in, to be honest with you. People think they're better than everybody.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a girl, to be honest with you. I think it was a girl that, I guess he figured if he got into that crowd, he would be noticed by her.
Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah. He didn't have a great home life either.
Well, he had no guidance for one thing, and
several of us tried. We tried to be there for him. It's just, he had his mindset, but he was either going to get the pie or off himself. But he didn't get the pie, so he chose the way out.
Yeah, I don't know. I have to put it down to very weak-minded person that would want to off themselves. Really, to be honest with you, who wants to actually do that? I mean, there's got to be something wrong, deep.
Yes, home life wasn't great. His dad was an alcoholic. His mom really wasn't there.
Oh, well.
They were both working because he spent, the dad spent more money on booze than what he did to keep his family up. So his mom had to work double time, even though the dad was working. The dad was just working so he can get drunk. Wasn't concerned with how his kids doing in school or the bills need to be paid.
That's a sad thing, but it's so rampant anymore.
Yeah.
It's probably even worse now than it was back then. There's so many of them out there. They're in that shape.
So it would have been about 86, 87. Let's see. I left school 89. Yeah. Last year of school was 89. Yeah. We had a cool high school. It's just, some kids back then fell through the cracks,
Well, that's about the way it is everywhere, to be honest with you. There is some that fall through the cracks. And, there is some that absolutely does not want to be helped. They don't want to help. They don't want to, they won't accept it and don't want to help themselves. And unfortunately, it ends up bad. And that's just the way it is. And people, you hear it all the time, this and that one off yourself or whatever, and you still scratch your head. How could it, really sit down and think about it? How could a person really, without being in their mind, rationally thinking, how could you just do that? But you got, they probably had no one to counsel them or help them out, push them in the right direction. Even though you tried to help them, it still happened. And sometimes they have already drawn it up in their head that that's the way it's going to be, and there's absolutely nothing you can do. Once they have drawn it up in their head, I know so many times I've dealt with that so much. On EMS, attempted suicide and drug overdose, and on purpose. And a lot of it, a good 95% of it, is for attention. They want attention.
Yep.
But the other 5%, I don't know. I can't say with confidence too much about it because I'm not really in their mind, so I don't know what they're thinking. But I know from my own standpoint that that's something incomprehensible. And two, when we kids growing up like that age, we thought we knowed everything, and no matter what anybody told us, we know more than they did. And the older people tried to steer us in the right direction. We didn't listen to them. Oh, you're just trying to boss me around, or blah blah blah. And nowadays, you just think back, man. I understand it now. I understand it. Yeah, I know what Dad and first one another was trying to do. you know, it's just the state of the world nowadays, dude. It's just even worse now than it was back then. Now evil is running rampant, and they got this opened the doors on it, and what they're calling good evil and evil good now, and everything that was weird and completely out of the ordinary back then, oh, it's a common thing now. And I don't need to go in details and explain every little bit because everybody can just listen and can come to their own conclusion. It is what it is. And you know, you got to steer kids in the right direction to start with. You got to give them a good foundation and everything, because they do remember it. And if they've never had any kind of guidance or, you know, during their childhood, they're not going to ever have nothing to remind themselves of it. You know, it's not going to ever pop in their head. Well, maybe I should not do it anymore, you know. But if you've never heard that, then it's life goes on as far as you think, you know. If you've never been told in your life that a fire would burn your finger if you touched it, then when you touch it, it burns you. Well, what's that? what's that hurting in my finger? What's that pain? You know, same thing. Well, we all should have had Janet Parker. We all should have done that. They tried, and some people. I was blessed with. I'm sure Barry was too. To have good parents that took care of us and took a switch or a belt to us when we needed it. And I guarantee you, every time I got a spanking, it was something I done. Every time. But that's what's wrong with the country and the world today, that when they took away from the spankings, that ruined it right there. It's biblical. Spoil the rods, spare the rod, spoil the child. That's what it says. That doesn't mean beating them all the time. It means correcting them. And you don't have it nowadays. Very few parents nowadays do that. And those are the parents that were corrected by they've had good families, you know, themselves. So they know. But I'm afraid it's getting smaller and smaller all the time. I'd say another 2 generations, or maybe 3. Oh, it'll be gone. Yeah. I'd say about 3 generations. If the Lord allows the world to stand that long, that is. But I don't think He will. He's done it before, and He'll do it again. Yeah, he's took care of this whole world once before, and pretty close to being in the same situation as it was then. All I gotta say is we don't have to worry about having our galoshes or anything or a rain jacket. It'll be something else. But I don't know. Be thankful for what you got and do the best you can. That's all you can do. And try to help people if you can. There's a lot of them out there that just need help. They don't know they don't want to ask for help, but they do need help, and you can tell the ones that needs help. And there's people, unfortunately, out there that will take advantage of that niceness and try to take advantage of you. $1 here, $1 there. Every week, it's the same thing. I went through that same scenario myself, and I had to put a stop to it. But that doesn't mean that you need to quit helping people. As Christians, you're supposed to. But there is a point that you don't have to cross. If they're not trying to help themselves, then you're supposed to shy away from them. Cut yourself a loop. You cannot be unequally yoked. That means you cannot hang around them. A person that's bad and carrying on and try to steer them straight. No, you can't.
Be right back.
Okay, Barry. But yeah, I don't know. I picked some, on a different note, went to the garden this afternoon. We went down there and picked some tomatoes off, and I set some of them up to finish turning, and some of them were already turned. So I brought them in the house and got some of my banana peppers, picked them off, and my bell peppers, I got them off, and I just kind of keep a watch on my tomatoes. Got to catch them as they're turning pretty good, and then pick them off and set them up and let them finish turning off the vine. That's the best way I found out to do it. That way they won't rot on the vine. Now, some of them tomatoes are perfect on the vine, fully ripened. And some of them, they're rotten. That's weird. I don't understand that. That makes no sense. But I'm not the only one that's went through that. Everybody I've talked to has went through the same thing. Same thing. Could it be the ground? Maybe. Not totally. Because everybody's having the same problem. And the whole country is not, their ground is not in the same condition. Some of the ground is better than others. A whole lot of it's better than mine. They can grow everything else perfect, but when it comes to tomatoes, they'd have them rotten spots on them. Oh yeah, you can just waste money and buy these magical sprays to put on it, and it don't work. Mine cracked too there, Janet. Some of them did, not all of them, but I'm going to try different next year. If the Lord lets me do it, I'm going to try something different next year as far as my tomatoes. I'm going to put some straw down after after they get a certain height. So I'll put some straw down and good and thick on top of the ground around them. That way, when they touch the ground, they won't rot. Now, sometimes they'll rot right on the vine, not even touching the ground. I don't know what that is. Very well could be, and I've come to that. I think I've almost come to that conclusion, Janet, that that's what it is. Because I can remember 3 years ago that I never had that problem. And even before that, even the year before that, it's just in the last 3 years that I've had problems. 3 years ago, I had some of the best tomatoes. I mean, there wasn't a rotten tomato one on it. Not a one. And all I did was stick them in the ground. And, of course, clean the rows and stuff like that. But nothing fancy. Of course, I've come to that conclusion myself, Janet, that I do believe that the atmosphere has had a big impact on it. And all that stuff, like you said, in the air, it's coming down with the rain. And when it ain't raining, it's still coming down in one form or another. And I believe the solar activity is having a big impact on it also. Yeah, my bell peppers is doing pretty well. I got 14 watermelons right now. 14 of them. They're still ripening, they're still growing. So I'd say it'd probably be the last of August, maybe first week in September or middle of September, and they'll be ready. But yeah, I just been getting them off there. I've been frying me up some green tomatoes. What I've been doing here lately, I just took a hankering for them and eating some fried green tomatoes. And I forgot to ask Barry, would he want any? And I'd pick him off some if he wanted any. But yeah, I picked a half a bucket of actual ripened good tomatoes, a half a bucket full, and the rest of them I set up and let them finish turning. So it's probably a whole bucket full of tomatoes. The yellow ones are.
My Sugar Rush is loaded with green tomatoes right now.
Your what?
My Sugar Rush tomato plant is covered with green tomatoes right now.
Wow.
All the ripe ones are actually ripened on the vine because the weather's cooled down. It hasn't been under those heat lamps,
Yeah. Yeah, I got 14 watermelons there. Like I said, some are probably more ripened than the others. Some of them are still small. They're about medium. Some of them about medium size right now. So I'd say if we get another couple good rains by the last of August, maybe the first week of September, they'll probably be close to being ready, or at least some of them will be anyway. I need to hurry up and get them out of there as soon as possible, because after my tomatoes play out, then I'm going to start mowing them down so I can clear away from my potatoes I got planted. I got a row and a half of potatoes. And there's no telling how many potatoes I'll have by the time I'm able to get things uncovered and where I can see the rows. You know, I probably said this before, but in 4 or 5 days that I was down with that kidney thing, didn't get back down there to keep it clean like I should have. Boy, I tell you what, it don't take long for the weeds to take up something. It don't take long. And besides the weeds, them watermelon vines is everywhere, dude. Everywhere. So I really can't do nothing until I get them dadgum watermelons out of the way, really, as far as mowing them down. I guess I'd sit there and let them, you know, I'll get my tomatoes up and then I'll chop and drop. Chop and drop. Best way to do it anyway. I'll probably put that, if I do any watermelons next year, I probably would put them at a different spot. I don't think they're going to be nowhere near my other stuff next year. Because I don't want to have to deal with that again, Barry. I didn't think them things would do that. My God, dude. I'll have to make a video of it to show everybody how much them dadgum watermelon vines has just completely took over everything, just about. On top of the morning glory vines. I was pretty good about, I kept them morning glories pretty much out of the garden this year, up to the point of where I was down and couldn't go down there and do anything. And I had them under control. 5 days is all it took for that garden to be completely overrun.
Yeah.
5 days.
I bet.
I never seen nothing like it. I look down there. Oh my God. Where is everything? I don't even know where everything's at. I had to go through there the other day and take sticks and mark every one of my watermelons. I just walk it, and until I come across one, I'd stick a stick beside it so I could see where they're at. And probably will find more if in places I never thought would be. I just never ain't looked. What we looking at? Oh.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's them good. Look like a little. Oh yeah.
Look like grapes, don't they?
I got a bunch of them. They're good too. They're good too. I've been popping them off.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing. Every time I'm outside, I grab some.
Yep.
It's a sugar rush I got from Lowe's. We went to Lowe's.
Yeah.
Well, I still kick myself for the pants for not grabbing one of them was just about full grown.
Yep.
But dude, I was barricading. I barricaded the tomato plant in the zucchini.
Huh.
As soon as he got that bush hogger running, I was like, no.
Yep.
That's been my past experience. He won't let a plant live.
I don't care if you put signs all around it, he still wouldn't pay attention to it.
He had to ask me where they're at. I said, around back. I didn't tell him exactly where. Well, he come close. I took that ladder. I stretched it out so he could get past the ladder because that's where the zucchini was.
Yeah.
The zucchini's trying to produce. It's got blossoms all over it.
My zucchini and my cucumbers played out. They didn't. I got a couple of 2 or 3 off of them, and that was it. They played out. They just, I don't know what happened there. I'll figure out what I've done wrong, and I'll try to do it more wrong next year. I'm going to start more tomatoes tomorrow. Oh, down there where you're at, you can do that. I guess I probably could here too, but
I'm not sure why they gave these tomatoes the name Sugar Rush. They're sweet, but they're not like, knock you over kind of sweet or anything. I think they're well balanced. There's like the right amount of acid to it and the right amount of sweetness. You get one that's been vine ripened. Oh man.
Oh yeah.
So good. I can't go outside without checking it. I'm almost obsessed with it. Yeah. But I didn't bother to try to fry any up because when I don't have any flour to do, they're so small. I could have fried some green grape tomatoes, but they're so small. It would take 2 handfuls to make a meal out of it. Fall out of your chair. And we lost Goblin. Or the cat's muted him.
Yeah. I don't know why. I do believe it. I kind of like going along with what Janet said there. I believe it is something to do with the atmosphere and the really with some of the stuff. It's not acting right. It's totally off. I could probably do a soil sample test, but I'm sure to God that it ain't affecting everybody that I've talked to. Some live 50, 60, about 40 miles away, and they're still having the same problem with tomatoes. Some of them have real good ground, so I know that ain't it. It's the atmosphere. It's got to be. All that stuff stays in the sky, and when it rains, it just washes it right down to the ground and into the soil.
You know, there's also, besides, you know, trying to play God and seeding the clouds,
Mm-hmm.
our government or our military will actually put aluminum particles in the air.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason they do it is for HF, so that they can
Transmit
make
further.
their own propagation, so their signals go further.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
The only downside is that you know, our planet was never meant to have aluminum rain down.
Well, the soil is not going to be able to absorb that much stuff.
Oh, the space station just spoke up.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
The International Space Station? Well, that's the only one we got. So I guess it is. Huh. Well,
let me turn off my.
Kilo Alpha Zero Juliet Mike Kilo. With E4 Juliet Tango Sierra Echo Mike 63.
Contest.
Kilo 4 Tango
that's Space Station.
Mike Kilo KA0 JMK. This E4 Juliet Tango Sierra.
Yeah, they're having a contest.
Oh.
Uh,
What frequency is that on?
437 8000.
437 8000.
I was picking that up on my indoor antenna.
Huh.
Oh shoot! I wonder where they're at now. I bet they were just passing over us.
Probably. It's loud. It sounded loud.
I wish the cat would get out of my way. Where is the ISS right now? Current position of the ISS. Oh yeah. Oh wow. Yeah. Okay. So they kind of. Right now they're like in Florida now. So they're over Florida right now. So wow, that was some pretty good propagation there.
Yeah, it was there. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it sounded good.
They're in the Florida Keys now. The orbital speed is 4,750 miles per hour. 758 miles per hour.
Wow.
So, let's see, 17,130 miles per hour. That's 4,758 miles per second. I read it wrong.
Huh. I'll try. You got that on your scanner or your other radio?
Yeah, my scanner, it popped in there. It took a second for me to realize what I was hearing. Just about over the ocean right now.
Actually, it'd be 437 800.
Yeah.
But no, Janet, I've not seen any double tomato vegetables like you're talking about. Which I say that, but then again, I can't remember here lately. I've not had any, but well, that goes along with what we was talking about. You know, all this stuff that's in the atmosphere. I mean, all this gardening stuff and techniques that people are using, that was probably okay kind of stuff to do 10 years ago or 20 years ago, but now there's so much of that stuff that's soaked into the soil that now, depending on the plant, it's just not going to do well. I would say probably if a person really wanted to have really decent tomatoes, they're going to have to almost put them in either a bed type situation, like a raised bed up or pots, and just replace the dirt every year.
Ah, that would be costly.
Yeah, that's the only way you're going to be able to do it. Okay, if you try to use them year after year, you know what, that stuff's going to soak
That's
right
because,
in.
yeah, the soil's already contaminated.
Yeah.
I see what you're saying, but yeah, oh my gosh, you know, or do
That's
aeroponics.
That'd be the only way you could do it to raise decent potatoes. You know, I thought about that. No, I have.
I would grow inside, but I wouldn't do hydroponics or aeroponics, either one, because it's so costly and it's such a freaking headache to keep up with your how many nutrients are you putting in it, just your pH, and
Man, I ain't doing that. I'm sorry.
bless her heart, you know, the Fresh Princess, she's finally getting to where she's growing stuff inside, but the cost, I just, you know.
Well, that too, and I just ain't got time for that kind of stuff. I just ain't gonna do it. That's just, you know, to get a tomato. No, I'm not gonna do that. If you figure your cost and time trying to raise that one tomato plant to where it produces well, look how much you spent.
Yeah.
There's going to be some high priced tomatoes. They are. And that's just what it is.
That could be any better than, you know, if you grew them outside or bought them from the store.
Yeah, well, the only thing, in my opinion, you know, that a person can get by with is just put them in a large enough planting pot or a raised bed of some sort, put fresh soil in it every year. Who's going to be able to afford to fill a raised bed with fresh soil every year? You could probably get by with it in a potting pot, you know, planting pot, but my Lord, but what else can you do? Because like I said, none of the stuff is working like it used to work. And that's the way it is. You can beat and slave and sweat all you want. And at the end of the day, the soil's only going to give you what it can give you, and that's it. Well, there you go. That'd probably be the way to do it right there. Get it up big enough to where you can put it in a pot outside and do it. That'd be the only logical way of doing it, to be honest with you, and cost effective and everything. I mean, I just, you know, I don't have the money to spend on all that stuff. You know, testing the pH levels and all this stuff. I burned up, got enough time today to eat, sleep, and do my other stuff. And, you know, good luck to anybody that can do that. I mean, but Not me. I just don't see it's practical to me. You know. Yeah, she got a lot of time and money invested in that, uh, and like Barry said, it's just now starting to pay off. But look how long it took her to get to that point. How much did it cost her up to that point? That's what I was getting at, you know.
And she had to
A lot of
restart.
time, but
She had to restart the season
Yeah.
because she got thrips. Them tiny little,
yep. Oh yeah, okay. I remember that. I remember that.
You got the thrips, and then she had to just completely strip it all down, throw everything away. You know, practically treat it like a clean room at NASA because her tent is in her basement. She's got a grow tent in her basement, but she brought them in from somewhere, and she suspects that they came in from a store.
Possibly.
So she had to start all over again. And so then that's all those chemicals, all those plants, all those seeds. Just start all over again. I just can't.
It's you know, like you count your time and money in dollars. That's some high priced tomatoes.
Yeah.
Or whatever else you're growing, whatever. It's pretty high, pretty expensive vegetables.
She's growing vegetables and for lack of better term, devil's lettuce, because it's legal to grow up there.
Now, if you're growing flowers to sell, you could almost recoup some of your money that way. But no, you got. That's just me. You know, everybody can do what they want, but I just can't say it.
She's growing some beautiful flowers, but they're outside.
And it just like
she cuts them off, makes a bouquet for her grandmother, some to her.
And just like everything else, we got a few more minutes till I'm gonna shut her down. It's just like everything else out there. There's all kinds of gimmicks out there that they're putting out there to get you your money. I don't care what it is. There's a gimmick for your car. There's a gimmick for your computer. There's a gimmick for your cell phone. This new thing you can attach to your phone or what have you. Just you name it. And there's always a gimmick, and gardening is no different. I have seen so much stuff on there that, you know, it reminds me of these as seen on TV stuff that they put out, and they're still putting them out. I see commercials all the time. It's the same kind of thing, dude. And it's the gimmick. And they get you money, and that's it. And it don't work. All it does, a lot of times it sits in the corner, or it goes in the next yard sale that you might have. But dude, I tell you, I don't know. I just cruise by the best I can. I'm thankful for my garden, what's brought me, and that's good enough for me. But we got about 6 minutes left in this broadcast, and there you go. I'm too cheap also. I ain't only too cheaper, Janet. I'm just you know, I'm not rich, so I gotta make my dollars count, you know what I'm saying? And I'm sure you do too. You know, I can't take it. I'll get it out in a minute, Barry.
My dollars
Hey,
don't count. They subtract.
Yeah. I can't take a chance on wasting my money on something that's not going to work. I bought some stuff to spray on them tomato plants this time, and I wish I hadn't have done it. Didn't do no good. None. Anyway, it's 4 minutes till, so I guess I'm gonna go ahead and call it. And appreciate Janet Potter coming in there, and Barry and everybody else that's watching the restream. That's all I can tell you. You just have to watch the restream and catch up. So, with that being said, I'm on a color, and everybody have a good night and stay safe.
Bye, Janet.
Excuse me. Bye bye.